Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me tonight. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint a barn, kind of rustic with some palette knife work techniques, and it should be pretty easy, I think. Hopefully about an hour long. Got my husband Mark here with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's going to be man in chat for us tonight, so let's get started. Okay, so this is my example. I used heavy body acrylics for this. If you don't have the heavy body acrylics, you can use a thickener, like a gel medium. Let me see if I have one that I can pull out here. Heavy gel matte, something like that. It comes clear, so you just put it out on your palette there and add your thinner paints to it. You could even add like craft paints and things like that. It'll make it really thick like the heavy body acrylics, and allow you to get these kind of interesting textures, because it's hard to do this with thinner paints. So if you're wanting to do this, I would suggest getting either some gel medium or get the heavy body acrylics, or kind of probably student body would be okay too, like the Liquitex Basics would work also for this. So all right, I'm going to be using just a couple brushes to fill in the background first, and then we will switch to a few different palette knives. Just a couple of, I find this little small one works really well for me. I've got the links to all of the stuff that I'm using tonight down in the description. So if you want to check those palette knives out, you can get those at the Brush Guys. And use the code AngelaFineArt to get 5% off. So not too bad. All right, this is a photograph that I took as my reference. This was taken at 70 miles an hour on the freeway. Something like
That's
that.
right. We're driving through Kansas.
It's amazing that it actually came out pretty decent through the windshield there. So, yeah, anyhow, it was a really cool barn. We didn't want to have to stop. There was no place to stop on the freeway. So we took this picture and just loved the look of it. All this kind of weathered stuff going on with it. So it's perfect for our project today. All right, so I'm going to start out just with a...
Have you introduced your paints tonight?
No, I haven't. Let's do that.
And in the starting lineup, we have...
Titanium white, unbleached titanium, yellow oxide, burnt sienna, burnt umber, carbon black, ultramarine blue, and phthalo blue green shade. This is a color called Payne's Gray, which is just ultramarine blue and carbon black, but it's already pre-mixed. So if you don't have this, just mix these two together. It's probably about equal parts, I would guess. So thank you, honey. So for the background, I'm just going to do the whole thing blue, and then we'll add some other details to it as we go along. So I'm going to grab a little bit of that phthalo blue, just scoop some up on my brush there, and grab some burnt sienna, mix those two together. Mix really pretty teal blue color. And then we'll grab some of this unbleached titanium, and I'm going to grab a pretty good amount of it. And look at how pretty that color is. Isn't that pretty, honey?
That is some serious prettiness.
I thought you would appreciate it. Yeah.
You know I like a good bluish color.
Right. Blue.
It's not cad blue, but it's close.
It's close. All right, so I've got a 9 by 12 inch gesso board here. So a firm support is really important for palette knife work, I feel. Like if you are going to use a canvas, you can do that, but you will want to put something underneath it to support the inside. So like a book or magazines or something that'll prop up that part of the middle that'll be flexible. So canvas panel or canvas or a gesso board like this is ideal for palette knife work. And I'm going to go down to the bottom with this. This is kind of a medium value color, I would say. So we're going to put some lighter colors in our sky over the top of it. But we'll start with this color, and it'll give us something to work off. I'm going to get a little bit of water. But don't really have to worry about this too much, because this is all going to be covered up mostly with other colors. So don't worry about brush strokes showing or anything like that. Just slap it on there. Quick. That's the nice thing about these palette knife paintings, is they're meant to be kind of rustic and sort of abstract-ish, you know. They're very loosely interpreted. So you can, it's good for beginners because you don't have to stress out about getting it exactly perfectly, smooth and blended and all that thing. It's got all this nice texture.
Man, that's looking like it's going to need some blow drying.
Yeah, I think so. Go ahead and
No,
grab that.
no thinking about it. I'm a professional. I can see.
You can tell?
I can tell
You
from
can
here.
tell it's going to need blow drying. Okay, come get it.
Okay, somebody's got a question before I run out.
All right.
Somebody wants to know, can this be done with just paintbrushes if you don't have a palette knife
Oh,
or
sure.
don't want to do palette knife?
Yeah, I'll show you kind of how to do it with the brush. Remind me later, but yeah, I will. I'll try to remember when I'm putting it on there later. All right, while he's doing that, I'll grab our Stickman mascot here. He got a bridge on Saturday. I'm dropping everything, sorry. He's buried. If you're new to our channel, this is Mark's creation, and we add something to him for fun every week. So we will give him, I guess he'll get a little barn in the background here. We'll just give him some background back there. All right, there's his little barn. We'll give him, since we've got time, we'll go ahead and give him some. So this is how I would do it with the brush. Instead of doing the texture with the palette knife, you just get a little bit of paint on your brush and just skim it and let it kind of, that undercoat show through. So like that. Guess it needs a door. Okay, there we go. You got a barn.
Awesome. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Mark's hand. All right, so I'm going to use some chalk to draw out my barn, and I'm going to make the horizon line very low on this. So I'm going to take like the halfway mark and then half it again, and we'll do our barn down at this lower quarter. This will be where he's standing on, like our little horizon line there. And we'll do some bushes over here and a couple bushes over here. And then I'm going to center him right in here. So if this is my center, right, something right around here, I'm going to go just inside the center line with the first line of my barn. And then I'll do this one pretty close to the edge there, a couple, maybe a thumb's width away, 2 fingers width from the edge, and keep it fairly low. This bridge is, or this, I keep saying bridge, we just painted that bridge this week. The barn is pretty low, so I'm going to go ahead and do the roof line right about here. It's got a low roof line, and then the back end of it, we'll give him a couple, maybe 3 fingers this time. A little bit more room on that side. Actually, we can make it a little bit closer. We'll make it a little longer on that side. Okay, so that's our kind of starting lines. We just have 3 parallel lines here, here, and here. And then our vanishing point for this barn was way out here, because we were, our viewpoint was probably right about here. So everything right here would be kind of level. And then everything over here and here would be going out to those, oh, I'm not even on camera there, going way out these ways from this line, way the heck out that way. So I tried to actually measure it with using the ruler with my, rulers, and it was like 2 feet that way and 2 feet that way. So really can't get it on camera, but basically what you do to kind of figure out your vanishing point, if you want to get these accurate, is to figure out where your horizon line would be, which is right about here. It's actually probably about a person's height, I would say. That would be the viewpoint line, and then you would angle these all going down towards that line. We're not going to get that detailed. We're just going to try to get it as close as we can. So if you want to get super technical about it, you can do that. So I'm going to bring this down just a little bit farther down on the front end right here. And then these lines are going to angle this way slightly. So when I do my next part of my roof, it's going to be, well, let me do this line here. So this line and this line are going to be kind of converging down this way. That's the bottom half of my barn. I'm going to make an X. And then from there up is going to be the center of that section of the barn. And we're going to put the roof line right up in here. So it's going to be nice and tall. So we'll go like this. And then angle it down this way and then out. There's like a little lip that comes out there. And then this part actually kind of comes up a little bit on this barn. It comes out, so about the same place there. We're going to do a line that way and then do a line that way. These will kind of narrow a little bit, right? Because they're kind of coming down toward a line there. And then this is going to come out a little bit. This line and this line should be the same. Do another line there. Then whatever line this is, and this should be the same. And then this line and this line, they're a little bit different because this part, the roof angles goes out on either end. So it's not quite square. This is actually kind of a little bit more straight up than it would normally be if they were parallel, if that makes sense. So this barn was a little bit more complicated to draw than it would have been if it was just kind of square. But there was kind of these exaggerated, is kind of an old rustic barn, and there was kind of these exaggerated sways in the roof lines here and here. So when we put our details in, we can put those in. Okay, so that's the basics of our barn, not too hard. And then we can put our doors in and things like that later. I'm not going to do them right now because we're just going to fill in our shapes, basic shapes for now. All right, let me remember. Okay, I used Payne's Gray for the main part of the barn, and remember that's just ultramarine blue and black, carbon black. And if you don't have carbon black, just use any whatever black you have. It doesn't have to be the same. And I'm going to fill that in right here. And I'm not going to be particularly careful. That whole outside edge is going to be kind of, put on with palette knives and things, so it'll be kind of uneven. So do the best we can to get it straight, but we don't have to be too finicky about it.
So did we say hi to everybody tonight?
We didn't.
Welcome.
Welcome. Yes, welcome, especially those who are watching live.
That's it. That's all we want to say.
Oh.
You want me to do it?
Sure.
Okay. Well, thanks for everybody for showing up tonight, watching us live. If it's your first time on Angela's channel, you can hit the subscribe button and you can join us in chat. You can ask questions if you have anything that you wanted to know. And you can also check out her page. She's got, 100 and some on 60, 70, 80 paintings.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. If you want to go to the channel after the show, yep, there's all kinds of paintings in there to check out.
From beginner to advanced,
Yep.
And down below the video we have the description of all the paints and brushes and things that she's using and links if you want to purchase. And as she said earlier, to the brush guys.
Yeah, if you want to go to the channel, you just click on my name or the photo or my photograph after the show, and it'll take you to my channel homepage. Okay, I'm adding yellow oxide to these two blues that I have here. This teal blue for the background and the Payne's gray. We'll use a little bit of that on this side of the barn.
And you can give the video a thumbs up. And
Yes,
then
please.
also, if you all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
All those links are down
Pinterest.
below too. Oh yeah, Pinterest
All that good stuff.
down below, so you can stalk Angela many different ways.
You can share your painting with me if you've painted one of my tutorials. I like to see them, and I try to reply to all of them. It's getting harder the bigger the channel gets to keep up with all of that, but it's been amazing. That's my favorite part of getting to do this, is seeing and hearing from you guys who are actually doing the tutorials and actually learning something and painting along. Really, really fun for me. Okay, so did kind of a gray on this side, and then for the roof line, I'm going to use this burnt sienna and a little bit of burnt umber. And I'm not really cleaning out my brush, so we can have these other colors in there. It's fine. And I've switched to kind of a 1 inch, or not, about a 3/4 inch brush here, or 3/4 inch flat. So I can fill in a little bit easier. So far so good, not too hard, right? Just kind of basic filling in. I'm going to do each section of this roof a little bit different so that I can kind of remember where these lines are. Do like that. Exaggerate that. And you can leave some of that blue from the sky showing through too if you want to. So I'm not like covering it up completely. I'm just kind of trying to fill in the main shapes. Okay, there's our main barn. Doesn't look like much yet, right? But we'll get it there. We'll do some of this brown on this side for the roof as well.
It actually looks kind of cool right now.
Yeah, just as
those
it is.
colors, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right, now we get to do the fun part here. And like I said, if you are just using your brush, what you can do is, for like the clouds or whatever, you be sure that you have several paper towels because you're going to need them for this. I don't know why I just put it right there, because then I'm going to put my hand in that. But what you do is hold your brush on its angle, almost flat, and use it kind of like you are a palette knife, like a flat surface. You could also use a credit card, and I had a pile of them here. Yep, a credit card, and that makes really nice scraping. It's a good little. You can cut them into different pieces, and use those instead of a palette knife, and they work really great. In fact, I used this one for the windows and doors to make straight edges. It made it easier than the palette knife, so I'm going to use those later. All right, let's get to mixing some colors here. So the first color set I'm going to mix is some green for the foreground. So I'm going to grab some phthalo blue and yellow oxide. Mix those two together. Make a nice bright green. The yellow oxide will dull it down just a little bit, so it's not like a super bright green. We want to keep everything kind of neutral with this painting, so it's all browns and golds and blacks with the little blue accents. So okay, there we go. And then I'm going to grab some white, and we'll just use what's left on my brush there and mix up a little bit of a lighter color, like that. we're just going to mix up several different kind of hues so that when we work, we can quickly grab them and it'll be easy to kind of work fast. So this part will be a little bit time consuming, but we'll be glad that we did it later. So let's do another green that's got ultramarine blue and the yellow oxide. That's probably way more ultramarine than I need. I'm going to pull it over here. You probably want 2 to 3 times more yellow than that blue. And this will make kind of an olive green color. We could use a little bit more of the blue. That might have been enough after all. Okay, so it'll be a little bit more drab, a little bit more grayed out. I really need another knife to scrape that off because I feel like I'm losing paint there. There we go. Okay, so there's our kind of army green color. And then what are you doing?
Digging through the trash.
Okay. What for?
For the name of that gesso board.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, no. Oh well.
Okay, this is the unbleached titanium mixed with it. So it's going to give it a little bit lighter value version. Let's grab a little bit of carbon black. And our yellow oxide. And these two colors will make a really pretty gray with a slightly brownish yellow tone. And the yellow actually will kind of create a almost green color. You can see how it looks a little bit like a darker version of this one. So we'll use that on our painting and grab the rest of that, make a lighter version. Okay. Get some more of this. Sorry, this is kind of the boring part because we're just having to mix colors here. Mix, but we'll be glad we did this later, so we don't have to stop and do this while we're trying to work. It's a lot easier to do it while beforehand. So I'm going to do some more and use yellow and burnt sienna. Mix those two together. Creates this beautiful kind of orangey brown. Got some white there and mix a lighter version of it for our rooftop. There we go. I've got way more color here than I'm going to need, but that's all right. It actually uses more than you think it does when you're working. And I'm going to actually pull some off there and add a little bit more yellow to it. Make a little one that's a little bit more on the yellow side. Okay. Ooh, super chat. Awesome.
Yes, we got a super chat. This one's from Becky.
Thank you, Becky.
And she requests that you paint a cowbell.
Oh. Okay, we'll get it right on that. That's awesome.
I mean, we're doing a barn. You might as well.
That's true.
That's right. Hey, we had a question, and I know that there's a difference, but I can never remember the answer. Which is, what is the difference between a gesso board and a canvas board?
Well, the canvas panel has actual canvas attached to like a paper back.
Okay.
And the board is an MDF board that's just been painted with gesso.
Okay, so the
So,
other one has an actual.
If it says
cloth.
canvas on it, yeah, it's got like a cloth covering
Okay.
on it. And then the boards are just
It's just
textured a little bit. This
that
is the
has
board.
gesso pre-applied to it.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And some of them are kind of textured. This one's slightly textured. Okay, that one is burnt umber and the unbleached titanium. And then let's see. So we've got the Payne's Gray here. Let's make a version of the Payne's Gray that's got the unbleached titanium. Now you can really see that blue in it when I add some light color to it. It's a pretty gray, blue-gray color. Okay, I think this will give us a good kind of working. Let me actually make some more of this turquoise color that was our sky, because we'll need some of that when we do the sky part. I'm almost out, so I may have to. Oops. Scrape up a good amount there. Okay, that'll work. Had just enough, I think. So the sky color is going to be lighter than the original color here. So we're going with a lighter gray. And then I'm going to make a ultramarine blue and burnt umber mix, which is one of my favorite mixes. It's just a really pretty gray. It's a beautiful color.
I never knew that about you.
What?
That's one of your favorite mixes.
It is. Well, it's one of my favorite dark, colors. It just is really pretty gray. It's got just enough blue and brown. I don't know what it is about it, but I just really like it. So there, we'll grab some white, mix that in there. And the more blue you add, the more, of that quality it'll have. So whatever, if you wanted a little bit more blue, you can do that. It's similar to the Payne's Gray, only it's got a little bit more brown. Instead of the black, it's got brown. So it's just different color. So we're just creating all these different shades of gray, and gray, brown, green. And we'll be using all of these. A little bit more white there. I want a really light color for our clouds. So this will be our cloud gray with this, and then white. And I'm going to put out more white right now before I start, because I know I'm going to need it when I get to work. All right.
All right. Are we ready to paint it like we stole it?
Huh? Yes.
All right. Let's do it.
I was using your saying earlier in the groups when I was advertising this.
Ah.
Paint it like, don't bring a brush to a knife fight.
That's right. Don't bring a paintbrush to a palette knife painting.
All right, so to start out with the clouds, I'm going to tap in with this palette knife and just kind of pick up a little bit of color. This is the gray. I'm going to start to lay in just some random gray in this background.
I got to work on my cowbell skills. I'll be practicing after the show tonight. Hey, that one is for Michelle. Thank you so much for your donation tonight, Michelle. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do. Very sweet.
And she's excited because I posted in the Facebook group that you're painting a barn tonight with a tank in it.
Is that so? I did not know that.
That may or may not be true why she donated, but it is true what I posted in the Facebook group.
It's true that you posted it. It's not necessarily true that it's going to happen. But
Well, it's already in there.
well, Veterans Day is coming up. I ought to just paint a tank just just by paint a big field of poppies and throw a tank in there. It's probably not a bad idea. Okay, I'm going to mix up some of this darker sky color here. That darker teal there, just to have some to work with. Okay.
Okay, we have a question when you're ready. Mary would like to know if using a palette knife uses more paint than
Yes.
using a paintbrush.
Yes, it does. Much more. Probably 2 to 3 times more.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Well, because you're putting that, it makes sense because you're putting texture on. You're adding texture. These are, thicker layers of paint. So just kind of working and just kind of scrubbing in a sort of circular motion to create some movement in our sky here. Grabbing some white now. We'll add some of that white, and I'll probably do more to it as we work. This is just kind of our initial layer. I find the more layers the better with this. Just kind of, well, really with any of the paintings, it just kind of always seems to look better the more detail you put in. Let's put in some gray. Go right up to that barn so it doesn't look like it's got a halo, around it. We want to have that color right up to it. And the key with the palette knife painting is to not have too many preconceived notions of how you want it to look. So if you're trying to achieve a certain, if you're trying to copy mine and get yours to look exactly like mine, you're going to be very frustrated because mine is not going to look like the one that I did earlier. It's just not, because it's very unpredictable what happens with the palette knife. At least it is for me. I don't know. Maybe if the more you did it, the more expert you would become, but it comes off randomly. That's kind of the beauty of the palette knife painting, is that it's unpredictable and it's really random looking, and you really couldn't use a brush to get this exact same result if you were painting it on just like straight, like you normally would. So it's catching all the texture and doing interesting things. And so just depending on how, where your texture is on your board, how much paint's underneath, all these different factors create different things happening in our sky. So let's go ahead and put in some more gray. Let's get some of that darker gray. Do some darker gray in a couple of places. Try to keep the outer corners a little bit more dark. That kind of helps visually. It just kind of draws the eye back down into the center. Gives it kind of that vignette feeling. There's a reason why they do that in photography, because it pulls the attention inward. So grab some of that dark green. Okay, sorry. I need to move my chair over that. There we go. That way I won't do that. I'm not reaching so far across myself. Okay, so there we go. Get some of that white color and do some white down here below. Okay, I think that's good. Wipe that off. Start working on our barn. So I'm going to use a little bit of this gray here to start with, and I'm going to scrape it on. Use that flat edge and try to get a straight line here if you can. Use the edge of that brush to line right up against that pull it across. You can use a tip to kind of scrape through it if you want. But right now we're just going to kind of lay on some color, so I'm not worried too much about how it's looking yet.
Amy would like to know, if you want to do the barn in a different color, would you use the same techniques? Just, like she's thinking about doing it red.
Oh yeah,
So
if you're doing on
you
red.
do the red as a base color first, and then do the same.
I would do like a really deep dark, like a brown, or like add brown to your red, or add black to your red, or add purple to your red. Do like a really deep color, and then do like your bright red scraping over the top. Add a little bit of yellow to your white so that it doesn't go too pink on you when you do your highlights colors. So, or using an orange even with your red, cadmium red light or something like that with white or yellow. So, and if you want to do it a very, very simplified version, you could leave off all the windows and things, because that's the part that's a little bit more difficult, a little bit trickier, is, getting the windows and things in. So, if you were to do this with kids or something, I would probably just do this part and maybe simplify the roof line so that it's just kind of a straight apex or something. Okay, there we go. So we'll start with that. Let's do a little bit of this color on this side as well. I'm going to grab some unbleached titanium here. Add a little bit of that. And this time I'm kind of scraping it up along one side of it, so I'm kind of scraping through so that I have like a bead of paint on one side. That'll kind of help it catch on the canvas, and I'm barely angling it so that not all of it is flat. Like I did it flat over here and I was scraping it on flat. This time I'm scraping across at an angle. I'm holding it slightly angled. So it's a little bit different technique. And it gives you these kind of sweeping long lines. We're kind of doing this part side to side. There we go. Let's do a little bit of this over here. Sorry, I got my arm in the way there. Yeah, do it flat. Okay. Let's grab some of this green here. Let's get this camo color. And we'll start putting in some grass down here. I got a little bit of both colors. I'll start kind of scrubbing some bushes in the foreground here. Right up to the barn. I'm not going to go over the top of it yet, but we'll just start filling in this foreground. Kind of darken the corners, and then we'll work a little bit lighter up towards the barn. Let's grab some of this prettier, like brighter green. We'll do some of our bushes over here like that. Just kind of running it in a circle and letting it kind of create these interesting shapes. some under here. Not really working with a lot of paint at any one time. That is what's giving me a little bit more control. So I might mix these two colors together. I feel like one is a little too neutral and the other one's a little too bright. So we'll just mix those two together and see what we get. Nice kind of middle color. Oh, there we go. So I'll just kind of lay my brush flat here and kind of run it side to side slightly while I'm kind of moving it up and down and around. And when I'm doing the flat technique, I'm kind of just tapping the whole flat edge of the brush. I don't have that kind of bead along the side. And I'm not scraping it up along the side like I was before. So this is just kind of, there we go. Nice.
I heard that.
Did you hear that? I'm going to tap through here and grab some of that lighter color and just tap that onto my bush there for some highlight. There we go. Okay, let's put a little bit of this turquoise color up here in our barn, in our shadow area. It's always helpful to kind of pull other colors up into other parts of your painting. It kind of unifies it, and we'll add a little bit of that green up in there too. Let's grab some of this turquoise color, add some of that real close up on the roof line there. This time I'm going to kind of scrape it up onto the tip and sort of draw with the tip. There we go. Okay. There, now it's getting on there. Getting some shadow right there. Let's do a little shadow right under here with it too. Maybe we'll get the Payne's Gray this time. You just spray them every now and then, even though we're not like really painting with watery paint. They will dry out, so kind of need to keep them hydrated. There we go. Coming off a lot easier there. Let's define that edge there. Define this edge a little bit. Maybe a little shadow right here. Okay. Let me grab a little bit of brown. Let's get that light burnt umber color. I'm going to mix that with what's on my palette, and I'm going to do a line that, remember, this line is kind of out this way. It's kind of converging out this way, so our roof line is not completely straight to the edge of the canvas, so it's slightly angled. So I'm going to do my low line for my barn right here. There's a section that kind of separates the bottom half from the top half. Right in here. See? So below here is going to be our doors and windows, and then we'll have some more stuff going on up here, but we're just going to kind of put that in there. And then let's grab this dark gray, and we'll use that and just pull straight down. There we go. Now you don't have to go solid. We want some of that undercolor to show through. So I'm just kind of trying to get it on there just enough to kind of try to define that edge. There we go. Let's do another little window up here. So there's kind of a section up here. It goes up and across. Maybe this is going to kind of come out this way. What are you doing, hon?
I was taking pictures.
I know. What are you taking? Just 'cause?
Well, you'll be posting it to Instagram pretty soon here.
Nice. I like it.
You can multitask. People won't even see your hands leave the painting. That's how awesome you
I
are.
like it. Nice. I didn't know I could do that. Paint and post to Instagram at the same time. I didn't leave myself very much room up here for my little side windows. I'll just try to fit them in here. Just using the tip of my brush here. Kind of drawing with it. If I get too much on, there we go. Now it's coming off. There we go. So I want to kind of clean that up. I'm just going to grab some of that lighter color and we'll just tap in some of the lighter color right there to sort of define that section between those two. Do the same over here. Pop that out a little bit.
In fact, you might even spell palette correctly tonight.
You think?
That's with 2 L's, right?
No.
The look I just got.
We've had this discussion.
A-L-E-T-T-E.
Yes. Okay. There's a small door here. And honestly, you don't have to define everything really, perfectly. It doesn't have to be perfectly square or perfectly outlined. So don't feel like you have to grab some of that turquoise and do some turquoise here. Do a little door right there. And maybe a little tiny window up here. Okay, let's do some over here now. And I noticed that I did a door over here, but actually in the picture it wasn't a door. It was I looked at another photograph, you could see it better. So there's just a series of little windows on this side. So we'll just do a few little, if I can get it to come off on the canvas. Here we go. And there were different sizes, so I'm just going to kind of make one kind of randomly different sized there.
So if somebody
Grab some light color here. What? Go ahead.
if somebody would like to get a hold of the traceable for this, how would they do that?
Yes, you can do that on my Patreon account. I have traceables for all of my new videos. They cost $1 for a month's access to the traceables, and that includes all of the older ones and any new ones that I do during that month. So grab some blue here. Yeah, we'll be posting that. Usually I post the traceable after I do the original painting, and it'll be exactly drawn from the original that I do during the show. So it'll be the exact same everything. Put a little bit of blue in there. Okay. Grab some of that Payne's Gray. We'll do a little bit of that over here. Oh, I haven't used this color yet. Let's use this color. This is that kind of yellow and black mixture. Let's use a little bit of that. Use some of the door. Okay. And I'm going to do darker kind of just on this one side here. And the top. Finer windows a little bit. Just kind of scraping it up on the tip there and using it to draw with. Okay. Oop. Sticky. Wet that down a little bit. If your palette knife is getting super sticky, you can always you can use alcohol and like soak it in some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and it will pull that paint right off for you. So looks like I'm gonna have to do that to this one after the show because it's starting to get super sticky. All right, let's do our roof. So I grab the yellow and burnt sienna mixture. We'll start with that. Do our line across the top here. What?
Okay, Ragnad said that your voice has put her parrot to sleep.
Her parrot?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Hey, it might be a new gig.
Yeah.
The Pet Whisperer.
Pet Whisperer. Do some
Deep Thoughts with Angela Anderson.
That's funny. I thought about getting a parrot. I've always kind of thought that would be fun, but then I heard that they live like 50 years. I was like, oh, maybe not. I don't know. Seems like a lot of responsibility. Although, then we're sad when our pets die, so I'm sure you'd be attached to them, you know, but that long I don't know. Okay. So just gonna kind of do a little bit of this along here, leaving lots of that dark brown showing. Just kind of trying to catch some little highlights on here. And you can do it thick if you want. This one's a little bit thicker than the other. And really I'm not turning it, but I would be turning it upside down on parts like this so that I could get my little angle in there correctly. So I've been kind of lazy about turning it around just so I don't have to mess with the camera angle, but I'll work with it a little bit here. Getting that yellowish mixture, a little bit more of that. Oh, we're already at an hour. That's amazing.
Yes, we are at the 54-minute mark.
I see that. I didn't time myself when I did mine earlier, so I guess it must have taken me longer than an hour, obviously. But we're almost done. Don't have much left to do.
30 minutes.
Huh? 30-minute warning. Yeah, there we go. Grab some of that burnt umber, the light burnt umber with the white mixed in. And then let's grab some of this and some unbleached titanium. I want a nice bright color. Even brighter. Here we go. This roof had like lines of shingles, so I'm kind of doing sort of horizontal motion with my palette knife to just kind of give it some layers. Here we go. Scooter's snoring again. Over there. Put a little highlight on this side. Okay, I'm going to turn this around so I can get a nice kind of crisp edge right here with that white.
So your roof colors were?
Yellow oxide and burnt sienna and burnt umber, and I just did different combinations of them and different values. Mixed them with white and unbleached titanium to get different. Sorry, I think I was off camera there a minute. Let's put
No, it doesn't look like it.
burnt sienna on here and do some burnt sienna. There we go. Okay, so let's grab our white now and start putting in some white now that we've got our kind of barn colors in there, background colors. We'll lay our white siding in there.
Now, does it make a difference
I'm
or
using the
not?
tip of my brush. Only what?
Sorry. Does it make a difference or not if you let the previous layers dry first, or?
Yeah, it'll keep it from blending as much. So you know, here these layers are definitely dry on this side now. If I didn't let it dry, then they would kind of combine with the colors. They wouldn't lay on top like this. So
Okay.
I'm just running the tip there so that I can get these kind of lines in my paint. Yeah, put our dog to sleep too. So they're snoring. I have a lot of people say that. I don't know. I guess it's a good thing, but Bob Ross has a relaxing voice too. He was very... I never really thought of my voice being very soothing. I always thought it was kind of deep for a woman's voice.
Well, here, let me turn a few dials over here and see what we can, what kind of effects we can get.
Mix up some blue here. Do a little bit of blue, lighter blue over here. Super chat.
Super chat. The cowbell was,
You just got to commit to it. You got to really.
I don't want to make it too loud.
Well, you got to turn your mic down then and just.
Okay.
Or just don't have your mic on at all when you do it.
I
So
need more cowbell.
Yeah, I need more McAlpha. Exactly.
This one is from Faye. Thank you so much for your donation tonight.
Thank you,
We
Faye.
appreciate it. And if people want to help me practice my cowbell, well, just go ahead and
Do we
super
have
chat.
some moves going on?
Oh yeah, there's always moves. Lots of those.
Moo.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, here we go. This is really making it start to pop, as they say. Really bringing out those colors. Let's grab a little bit of blue, do a little bit of blue right here. Okay, I'm going to use the tip of my brush and just kind of scrape some on the side here, and we'll do like a little line for our middle of our barn there. Door. Ooh, that was loud. And then we'll do like a crisscross in it. Just kind of run that tip down through. There we go. Just sort of the indication. We don't have to have it perfect. Let me put some of this kind of warmer color over here on this side, that kind of roof color. We'll put some of that up in here in our open areas here. Pull some of that color down here. Maybe not that much. All right. Let's do a tiny bit of this color, just kind of scraped up across. Just a little. And now we're going to do this side. Let's grab that white. That tip. Just want to scrub inside to side. There we go. I'm going to keep the brightest part kind of down underneath. I don't want to get right up under there because I want it to stay kind of dark right there. So let's grab a little bit of our blue. We'll kind of do a little bit of that in the transition area.
I will say, when I saw your example painting, I was kind of shocked that there were no flowers in it.
That is a little odd.
It's like something is amiss.
We can put some flowers. There's always room for flowers. Okay. I think the key is just to kind of have patience and let these layers kind of build up gradually. Don't do too much all at once with it. I feel like I don't like that door, how it's looking there, so just add a little gray to it. I have a bunch of blue right there. I don't know how that happened. Okay, let's lose a little bit of this blue up in the roof. Get that light blue color mixed with a little bit of the white. It's just a little bit of it here. Okay. Kind of pulls it all together. There's a little bit of that unbleached titanium here. Scrape through with that. I'm going to mix that teal with a little bit of burnt umber, see what that does. Maybe do a little bit on this door. Okay, I could mess with this all day, but it's fun. Yeah, I feel like the door is a little bit dark, so I'm going to add a little bit of the gray. Just make it a little bit lighter. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to add a little bit of grass. So I'm going to grab the, got a little bit of yellow. Mix that with my white. And pick up a little bit of that green. Use some of this down here. Put some highlights in our grass with this color. And then I'm going to grab some of this green color. We'll mix it a little bit together. Just kind of come up with another version of it and do just a little bit up over the top of our barn, just to kind of set back that edge. Kind of make it look like there's kind of grasses are coming up in front of it just a little bit. Got that lighter color. Pull some of that up. And grab some of that brown. Give it some contrast. Grab a little bit of burnt sienna, just a tiny bit. Maybe get some of the one that's mixed with some of this lighter color. Just put a little bit of that down here too. Some patches of earth with our bushes and all of that good stuff. Okay, now I'm gonna put in a few clouds and we'll, oh, I need to put in the rooftop too. Okay, sorry, and Mark's like, thought we were done.
Oh no, I knew better than that. I
So
mean,
let's put in some clouds here.
we're just 15 minutes into the 30-minute warning. So
Okay, we've got plenty of time.
I'm not fooled. This isn't my first painting.
You know how this rodeo goes, huh? If you get a little bit too much, you can kind of dab it off too. I kind of feel like I got a little bit too much over there. I didn't want it to be yellow. I want to keep it kind of blue up in the sky here. So there we go. Just a little bit brighter clouds. Just kind of setting it down and sort of wiggling it side to side and sort of in circular motion. Okay. All right, now for the little steeple things, they're going to go right in here. And I'm just going to use I'm going to switch to a little stylus here. So give me a little bit more control. You could use a toothpick or even a pencil that is dull. And we'll use the burnt umber here. Spray that down. A little bit of burnt umber. Get some water in there so that it flows. You might put out some fresh paint at this point. There we go. And we've got two little, I don't even know what they are coming up. It's chimney stacks or something.
No, they're not chimney stacks. I
What
think
are they?
they're like an air vent.
Vents?
Yeah,
Okay.
with a weather vane on top, usually.
Yeah. So they go down onto the roof just a little ways. So we'll do these little squares that kind of come down onto the roof. And then get the palette knife here. And then there's a straight line across there and there. This is where you have to be really careful. Okay. Then another area that's kind of it's clumping up on my brush, on my thing there.
Okay, we've got a question from April.
Yes.
She would like to know, if you don't have a stylus, what else could you use?
You could use a pencil. You could use the back end of a brush, a small brush. You could use a wooden skewer, something like that. So these are actually really cheap though. Like you can get a set of them for like $2 or $3 on Amazon. I have a link to one of the sets down. I don't know how much that set is, but I got a set of like 5 of these for like $2, I think. So, and they come in different sizes. They're nail brushes. They're for doing dots on nails. At least that's what the ones that I bought were advertising them for. They sell them at the art supply stores too. So. Okay, so little stacks there. And then to top it off, I'm going to do kind of, like Mark said, like a little, actually probably should use a smaller one. Woo. Now you did it.
It started
There you
off
go.
bad, but it worked.
You got it. You got it worked it out at the end.
Oh yeah, that's a super chat from Dorothy Cat. One.
Thank you, Dorothy.
That rhymes. Super chat from Dorothy Cat.
I like it.
Thank you so much for your donation. We appreciate it.
We do. I'm going to grab a little bit of the highlight color. This is the unbleached titanium.
I'm hearing.
Can you turn that off?
Oh, sure, fine.
Thanks.
I just heard that on the replay. That was kind of loud.
Was it too loud?
Yeah.
So we should warn people. Too late now.
Yeah.
Yeah, those who are watching with headphones might. Sorry, Mona. Okay, there we go. So we've got a couple little things there. And there's also a little doohickey that sticks out up here. So I'll do a little bit something there, that dark color. And then now I can use this color. Let me grab that black. Mix that with a little bit of the blue. Maybe grab that brown. Just kind of soften it up just a little bit. Now I can use this and kind of define some of these with this. Kind of outline some of this stuff if I want to. feel like I need a harder edge shadow or something. Yeah, that works. Works pretty well. What you laughing at?
I'll just say that you asked.
Okay.
So they were discussing, should I switch to an electronic cowbell?
Uh-huh.
And we tried that at first, but then we found the cowbell here at the house.
The sound, yeah.
And so I'm not sure how they pronounce her name. I'm going to say F.S. Shorn. F.A.C. Anyways, says that the cowbell should definitely be man-moo-all. And I know how much you like those puns. So
Yeah, exactly. You did warn me. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Still wasn't ready for that, though.
Nobody expects
Exactly.
the
Okay, so just kind of defining it. See how that kind of just pops everything out a little bit? Just kind of using this tool and gives you a little bit more control. You could always use the side of your brush too, or the side of the palette knife, but I just find that this kind of does a really good job. So put a little bit of definition between the ridges here, and I'm just about done with this. Kind of got a little thick with my highlights up there. All right, I like it. Don't need anything. I could put a few little white dots down here like they're little flowers. How's that? Is that better?
I
Do some
didn't
with the
say that
yellow.
it needed it. I just said I was surprised I didn't see any.
Well, now that you said something, I was like, yeah, we do need it. One of these days you're going to get it just right, honey.
All right, that super chat is brought to you by. Whoa, where did their name go? Chat is moving fast. By Gina. Thank you so much for your donation tonight, Gina. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Gina.
it. And the cowbell practice.
Exactly. Okay, just adding a little bit more of that lighter green over the top. I think we're good. I like it. You know, for somebody who I've never really gotten into palette knife painting before, but I got asked to start doing it for these shows, and it's fast becoming one of my favorite things to work with. It's so fun. I really love it. So I hope you guys do too. I hope you've enjoyed it, seeing it tonight. And here, let's put a little bit of this green up here in the roof. Why not? There we go. All right. And then it's dry enough down here. I'll go ahead and sign it real quick with my Pigma pen, and I've got the link for this down in the description, so always do a finger's width above. Oh, it is wet. Get that off my pen so I don't ruin it. There we go. Alrighty, let me hold it up there and you can see all the yummy texture. Love it. So fun.
Yummy texture.
It is yummy. It is.
Okay.
You don't.
I'll take your word for it.
Yes. Decided that need to be a little bit wider right there. Okay.
I mean, you have 3 more minutes.
Yeah, that's okay. I think I'm good.
Oh, no, we're not. She's going
No.
back for more.
Well, I just noticed that there's some crosses in some of these windows on this side in my picture.
And
So
I turned off palette cam already, so
that's okay.
they're going to have to use her
I just
imagination.
grabbed some gray. The Payne's gray and white color.
What size pit pen were you using? Somebody wants
That
to
one
know
is
what
the FB Fine Brush Pigma Sakura. But I've got the link for those down in the
down in the
description.
description,
Mhm.
along with everything else that you used tonight,
Yes. Yep.
except for the cowbell.
Right.
We might need to put a link for a cowbell
We
down
might
there.
need a link for cowbell. Yep.
Same.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We really enjoyed bringing it to you again, as usual. And we will see you on Saturday for a black cat with a monarch butterfly on its little
Ooh.
ear. Yeah, be cute.
So you got the Halloween theme and the migration of the monarchs
Exactly.
at the same time. That's
Yep.
pretty cool.
Yep. And the Halloween colors,
Yeah.
kind of those black and orange colors
Hmm.
for it. So
Awesome.
it'll be kind of a realistic type, just the bottom half of the kitty cat, though. He's going to be peeking off the bottom of the canvas. It'll be cute.
So you see his head,
Just his
eyes
head
and
and his
stuff.
eyes,
Okay.
yeah. Yep. So,
Cool.
anyhow, yeah.
That I probably won't be painting that one.
You probably won't. Well, that's okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thanks. Give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time. Bye.